Magandang umaga sa inyong lahat.
In 1992, October was first introduced as Filipino-American History Month, but it wasn't until November of 2009 when both the United States House of Representatives and Senate passed laws to officially recognize October as Filipino-American History Month.
The month of October was chosen to commemorate the first record presence of Filipinos in the continental United States on October 18, 1587 at what is now known as Mural Bay, California.
This year, the kindergartners in Mr. Lapitan's class, Mr. Futol's first graders, Ms. Serafino's second graders, the third graders in Ms. Lopez's class, and the fifth graders in Ms. Carrillo and Ms. Maderazo's classes will be performing original and adapted pieces filled with song, music, dance, and acting.
This year, we are dedicating and honoring our show to a member of our Filipino-American community, Dr. Don Mabalon. Manang Don was very much a part of the Longfellow community, as our godchildren are, and were students here, and she graced our hallways coming to visit them.
She also enjoyed coming to many of our Longfellow events and trained and supported the Pinay and Pinoy Educational Partnership, PEP, teachers, staff, and students.
Manang Don was a respected historian, an activist and leader, author and poet, chef and baker, wife, Manang, daughter, sister, and friend.
Along with others, she worked to preserve Little Manila and Stockton to ensure that we continue to honor those that came before us and to inspire generations after.
She was loved and adored by so many as she gave so much of herself to her loved ones and community.
We honor Manang Don today and every day as she taught so many of us to love who we are and our community. Don Mabalon will always be in our hearts.
So now, please sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
The bell rang to end the day. Isagani's teacher had one last thing to say.
Okay, class, please listen. Come to class preparation. Tell the story that makes us aware. What makes them important to you? This assignment should be towards you. People should live for family and friends so that the hero's story will never end. Ooh, this sounds like a fun assignment.
And it sounds so easy, yes.
Isagani rushed home, eager to take a look at his big stack of graphic novels for inspiration.
All the heroes had special powers, but to find the perfect one took him so many hours. He turned each page, but to his despair, Isagani couldn't find his hero anywhere.
No. 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 Ugh.
None of the heroes were like him. They all had different colored skin. They didn't resemble him at all, and shortly after, his hope began to fall. In need of help, he turned to his mom, knowing that she would keep him calm.
Ugh, this is so hard.
And that was wrong.
Mom, my hero's nowhere to be found. Every time I look, I feel like we're going around and around. None of the heroes in my books look like me. Why is that, Mom? Can you explain it to me?
Isagani's mom, so kind and sweet, took her hand to brush his cheek.
I know something that will cheer you up. Remember when you were in kindergarten and you learned those songs and poems? You would recite them all day long. Wait, I think I have a video of you singing those songs.
Order 9 assignments. Ready? 5.
make me smile, and I feel a little bit better. But I still need to find my hero.
Don't worry, my son. Sooner than later, your assignment will be done. So do me a favor and grab your sweater. We'll take a walk to make you feel better.
Isagani and his mom walked to the park and strolled through the paths just before dark. They came to a wall with beautiful art when Isagani's mom's story began to start.
Anak, take a look. This is a mural of Philippine and Filipino-American heroes of mine. The artist helps us remember them with colors and lines. Let me tell you about their stories and lives. Maybe this will lift your spirits and give you some pride. First is Gabriela Silang.
I am Gabriela Silang. I am a Pinay warrior and I'm very strong. I fought for freedom against pain. Although I experienced a lot of pain, the memory of me still remains.
Jose Rizal is to her left.
I'm Jose Rizal. I am smart and I love to write. With my words, I expose people's plight. I chose to tell the story about Spain's present time.
On Jose Rizal's side, we have Lapu Lapu standing with pride.
I am a courageous man who took a stand on the plan stand. I fought the Spaniards with my bare hands. I did it for my people and my land.
If we keep moving clockwise down the mural, we will find a woman who was far from cruel. Tandang Sora was very helpful and caring during the time the Capitol murals fought. Making our way around, we have Andres Bonifacio.
My name is Andres. I fought for the Philippines in the Philippines. My friends and I were side of Spain's Philippines. But I wasn't boastful. No matter how bad, I was defeated.
Last of the Philippine heroes was Princess Orduha. All of these heroes lived so long ago, during the time when the Philippines was trying to be free from Spain. Before Spain came, the Philippines was a group of islands with many different tribes and diverse groups of people. Each group spoke their own languages, grew their own crops, and celebrated their own culture through stories, art, song, and dance. at the right side of the mural. This side shows the Filipino-American heroes. Filipinos have been in America for a long time. The first Filipinos arrived in 1587 in Morro Bay, California. Moving along to the Philippine-American heroes, we start with Robledo-Maderazo.
I am a strong, united, community leader, mother, friend, and ally. I started justice on the responsible side. I organized in the U.S. and the Philippines to make sure people's rights are never denied.
Next is Victoria Manalo Graves.
I am the greatest and Lapitan. They refused to fall fluent into animation. That didn't stop me from working hard. I won 2 gold medals in 1948 Olympics and one for 10 years from that and one for 3 years later.
With her is Don Mabalon.
I am very smart and love my community with all my heart. I am a teacher and I'm a business program. Along with others, I led little Manila's community rivers and Southeast
No history, no self.
The hills say all because of you.
We know about our ancestors.
Nine Pinoy pioneers, students, workers, and adventurers. Aficionados, students studying abroad. Taras, working skills of Hawaii.
Manas and Manos, farming and stockton.
The USA Navy soldiers sailing around the world.
Nurses and doctors keeping their jobs or taking other jobs of lesser degrees for lesser pay.
Coming to a new country looking for opportunities. Away from their homeland and everything and everyone they know and love.
Working to make better lives for families back home.
Fighting for a future that means change and equity for all.
Lolos and Lolas, Nanays and Tatays, Manangs and Manos.
We are sisters and adding to life.
The hills say all because of you. We know about ourselves.
Because of you, I am smart.
Because of you, I am strong.
Doing what I can to be a better person for myself, for my family, and for my community.
Because of you, I am brave.
Because of you, I will fight. Because of you, I have a dream.
Working to include our histories, and her stories for everyday lives, classrooms, and stages.
Because of you, I'm resilient.
Because of you, I'm relentless. I'll always do my best and never, ever give up.
On a community worth defending through the struggles and celebrations.
This month marks the celebration of all Filipino Americans, our history, our ancestors, and ourselves.
The hills say you because of you.
Every day is a celebration of us and we, of our family. We honor and celebrate you. God of all is in the heart. A hero of Don's Al Robles.
I am a writer, poet, and a helpful friend. Always loyal to the very end. Thought I would kill with the pen. I cared for people both young and old, and he shared them when his stories were told.
With Al, we have his friend Bill Sorrow.
I believe that all kids should be allowed their human rights to be I was hopeful that eventually everyone will hear the people's needs for justice and tolerance.
Last but not least is Larry Itleo, who also fought tirelessly for human rights.
I am powerful and won many fights to get farm workers higher pay and better rights. I showed a great strength to show the power of people and great might.
Larry Itleo? Mom, didn't you read me a book about Larry Itleo before?
You're right enough.
this as your life work, or did it pick you? Like, how has this encompassed your life and is absolutely part of your very fiber? Like, how did that happen, and how did it pick you?
Well, growing up in Stockton, in many ways, I didn't really understand the context of my life until I left and I went to UCLA and took Asian American Studies and Filipino American Studies classes. I'm third generation Filipina. My grandparents and parents worked in the fields. I'm the first generation to not work in the fields. But I didn't really understand how my grandparents, both sides, their immigration was part of a larger story of American empire in the Philippines, and that they had been a part of one of the greatest economic stories in the history of the world, which is California agriculture. I didn't realize any of that until I went to UCLA and took Filipino American Studies. And then when I got to those classes, though, I said, well, there's still a lot missing. Where's Stockton? Where's the story of my community, which was the largest community of Filipinos outside of the Philippines in most of the 20th century? What about community organizations? What about labor? And so I wrote Little Manila's of the Heart. That was my dissertation at Stanford. And I became involved in the Little Manila Foundation and with the Filipino American National Historical Society. So after I published the book and we had worked to try to preserve the Little Manila neighborhood, Larry Itliong kept popping up in all of my research. I had learned about Larry Itliong when I was at UCLA and at Stanford, and the critical role that he had played in the Delano grape strike, and I learned that my father actually knew him and that he had been president of the Filipino community in Stockton. In fact, he lived just a few miles away from where my grandparents lived, yet I knew nothing about him. It took me until I went to ethnic studies classes to learn about him, and that's a tragedy. Most Filipino American youth in Stockton today don't know who Larry Itliong is, and he's possibly one of the most pivotal figures in farm labor history, if not California and American labor history. So it became really my work to recover these stories of Filipino America. I've been so privileged to be able to go to Stanford and get my PhD there, and to become a professor at San Francisco State and work with thousands of students over the last 13 years I've been a professor. And in my lectures, bringing the story of Filipinos into the larger narrative of how I teach American history, but we need books to do that. I need to reach audiences that are beyond my classroom, and I especially want to reach young people who may never get to my classes and who may never be able to take ethnic studies or Filipino American studies, at the college level. It's hopeful that they do, but we need to get them interested and see themselves in American history at a very young age. I didn't see myself in American history until college. Maybe my life would have been different if I had. I think I would have really saw larger horizons for myself. But growing up as the child of farm workers and grandchild of farm workers in Stockton, all of their hard work and sacrifice was so that I could come to this moment and be able to choose whatever I wanted to do with my life. And what I want to do is to honor their sacrifice.
I'm powerful and won many fights to get farm workers higher pay and better rights. I led a great strike that showed that the power of the people had great might.
In September 1965, in Delano, California, Larry Itliong invites the agricultural workers organizing committee, members and great growers to discuss fair wage for the farm workers.
The growers didn't show up. The AWOC members are mostly Filipino. There are also African Americans, Arabs, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, and whites. Because of the injustice they experienced on the farms, they talked about on strike.
Bob Armington said, I move that we vote to go on strike.
Larry Itliong called out, I want those in favor to stand up with their hand raised.
Everyone stood up and raised their right hand in the air. It was unanimous.
The next day, the Delano grape strike began. Over 2,000 AWOC members walked off the grape vineyard. They wanted a fair wage of $1.40 per hour, 25 cents a box, and the right to form a union. A Filipino striker told a reporter, for more than 30 years I've been in strikes in the fields.
I think we are going to win this one. But whether or not we win, the growers will know that have been in a good spot.
The growers hired armed guards to use violence on the strikers. They also shut off power and water from the workers' bunkhouses.
The AWLC members felt hurt, angry, and betrayed by the growers.
Larry exclaimed, "I have an idea. Let's ask the Mexican farm workers to join the Filipino farm workers." Larry knew that the Filipino and Mexican farm workers could join in solidarity to be stronger, and they might even win.
Cesar Chavez, Gilbert Padilla, and Dolores Huerta led the National Farm Workers Association, with mostly Mexican Americans. Larry asked Cesar and NFWA to join the Filipinos on the strike. Cesar said, "If Mexican workers don't strike with us, we'll never win." Cesar shook his head. Cesar said, "We're not ready for a strike."
But he promised Larry that NFWA would discuss it.
Over 1,000 NFWA members met to discuss the strike and vote. Dolores Huerta told them about how violent guards were on Filipino workers.
Cesar said, "The strike was started by Filipinos, but it is not just for them. Tonight we must decide if we will join our fellow workers." The crowd roared. The vote was unanimous. That evening in Delano, 1,000 NFWA members voted to strike. For the first time, Mexicans and Filipinos spoke as one for the rights of workers' rights movement through nonviolent peaceful protests. Strikers picketed the vineyards and field, packing sheds and storage plants, encouraging other workers to walk off the vineyards.
75 strikers marched 340 miles north from Delano to the state capital, Sacramento. At first, they were stopped by the police in Delano. Later, the town cheered them on. It took 25 days under the hot sun. In Sacramento, more than 10,000 supported their cause.
In 1966, the two unions became one as the United Farm Workers, UFW. Cesar Chavez served as director and Larry Leon as assistant director. Larry said, "We are not asking too much. If other workers in America and all over the world can have unions, there is no reason why farm workers cannot fight for what is fair and just and decent."
The Delano grape strike lasted from 1965 to 1970, 5 years. In 1970, more than 30 grape growers met with the UFW and Delano and agreed to a pay increase, medical insurance plan, and control over certain pesticides. And the victory what became the United Farm Workers, the first contract between growers and farm workers in U.S. history.
Larry Leon and his fellow workers had walked a long journey for justice and stayed their course.
He had fulfilled his dream from so long ago. He did it, they did it.
Wow, I had no idea there are so many Philippine heroes. I don't even know who to choose now. How can I choose just one?
Yes, Anak, I am so glad you see. There are so many heroes and heroines that look just like you and me. Heroes that fight for human rights and recognition we deserve. Our stories are told through their lives' work, in words and in action, in song and in dance. We must celebrate our stories whenever we get the chance.
He arrived in the legend of war, this third war, fought with the Mabalon in the Second World War. He made it out alive aboard many stars and times. When your best friend dies in your arms, a survivor of the death march, 1942. The historic experience is so easy. Relive nightmares memories that would last forever. Forced to walk hundreds of miles, but isn't that weather? You would think he'd get love when he got to the States. Realized that all the promises they offered were fake.
All right, boys and girls, we're going to learn about Filipino rappers.
Mr. Futol, unless Tupac and Drake are Filipino, there is no such thing as Filipino rappers.
Actually, there are many talented Filipino rappers all over the world, even living here. Imagine Native Guns, Aristides Rubio Barra, and Francis M.
What's that?
It's a Pinoy rap mixtape. Mr. Futol and all the old folks used it back in the day. Hit it, DJ.
Maghirap ang trabaho mo, pagpipili mo, dahil pag gusto mo ay kaya mo. Kung kaya mo ay kaya niya, at kaya nating dalawa. Magaling ang ating yan at laging iisip kung mga sensor mararating kung handa kang iisip. Ang hirap at pagod sa problema, huwag kang malunod. Umahon ka, huwag tumugo, pagkat ginhawa naman ang susunod. Iwasan mo ang inggit, ang sa iba'y ibig mong makamit. Dapat nga ika'y matuwa sa napala ng iyong kapatid. Ibig kong ipabatid na lahat tayo ay kapitid. Mga kababayan ko, dapat lang malaman yun. Ulipag ko sa kulay ko, ako ay Filipino. Kung mag-ibig mo mabuti, meron naman kayo mag-ibig. Isipin mo na kaya mong mabuti ang iyong
It's been a minute since I last felt you under my feet. Last felt the 8 rays of your sun on my cheek. When we first met, I really had to struggle to speak. Now I hunger for you like I ain't had nothing to eat. It's something that's deep within me. The legends and the history, the trivia, the mystery of this story of ours, a story of wars. We travel on a road full of scars. Late night, all alone with you, I noticed the stars. Far away from the city in a secret location. The spirit in the air that burned the whole nation. But we did it from the start. Your heart was forsaken. I'm here to rectify that. We done waiting. In fact, I'm compensating for the days that we lost. Hoping for the very moment that I make it across. Back in your arms, the only place I feel I belong. With a million folks behind me, all singing along.
You're so fly to me, you and I should be just you and I, but I know I'm just being greedy. Can you blame me with you?
8 rays of the sun on my cheek. 8 rays of the sun on my cheek. See the S is for the struggle, the F is for the feast. My city will be a beast, everybody they tryna eat. Last name Mass, first name E. You probably heard of me, LMC. San Francisco, I rep the southeast. You can catch me in a mission up in OGG. Park Nova, that's on my 8 to me in South Beach. I'm a giant on a beat, like an orange, my own repeat. Like candles, canary goes for dead and their peace. And please don't need religion, please don't feed the pigeons. Please question tradition for us indigenous peeps. LGBT, Allah, Q is a question. Can I keep it in equanimity and everything that cannot? Have I, will I keep it legit like the hammer? And not just temporary with the body like some henna. Ain't even no educated, I speak with that broken grandma.
Wait a minute, we can't talk about Filipino rappers without Panayan rappers.
We are here. Hit it, DJ.
No need for introduction if you don't even know why. No stopping to an era with a peaceful lo-fi. Put my face in the book cause my people are profile. Erased from the books and my people are told lies. Sky's the limit, go fly. Cali we go high. I mean back in 05, believe you I grow wise. Surprise we broke eyes, double dose of broke lies. We broken those sides of losing hope it goes by. I got Bam to my left and Erica right. Here to give you America like Erica Wright. Try to take my title, never roll to inherit the right step. That's over city's finest. Put me on the five list. Color of the vines cause I color like the iris. Hunger in my eyes, this is everything that I press. Kill it with my tongue, every time I spit a free. But the work is never done, I believe I'll never leave. Cause I'm here. Get your hands in the air. Now the greatest is here. I'ma make this my year. Cause I'm finally here. Yeah, I'm finally here. Yeah, I'm finally here. Yeah, I'm finally here.
Awesome! Now let's end this lesson with my favorite dance rap song. Hit, DJ!
And on that note, I gotta leave you with this one. Everybody now. Yeah. Everybody clap your hands to this one. Feeling good on this one now. Come on. Here goes 1, 2. Everybody step now. 3, 4. Take a deep breath in. 5, 6. Exhale gently. 7, 8. Feel a little less heavy. 1, 2. Everybody step now. 3, 4. Take a deep breath in. 5, 6. Exhale gently. 7, 8. Feel a little less heavy. Sometimes a brother gotta chill out. Have a seat, have a piece so we can all think out. Get the stay sober as long as I'm close to my folks, my fans. Just know that I hold you down cause your man gotta hang like a poster. You ain't gotta ask, grab a glass, we gon' toast up. Another year passed, recognize hustle, recognize work, recognize struggle, though we can't burn out. Let that sunshine touch you, wash away the stress, let that love just run through your soul and your body. Cause we love to party, but not all the time cause the grind don't stop. See, it's all connected, the stress from the hectic, but yo, don't forget it, the struggle is collective. You ain't gotta feel all alone like you run this, cause unity's a beat that we all gon' step with. 1, 2, everybody step now. 3, 4, take a deep breath in. 5, 6, exhale gently. 7, 8, feel a little less heavy. 1, 2, everybody step now. 3, 4, take a deep breath in. 5, 6, exhale gently. 7, 8, feel a little less heavy.
Isigani and his mom headed back home for dinner. During his walk, he thought more about who his own hero could be. It finally dawned on him who he would choose and rushed home to begin his assignment.
In his room, he started his story. It wasn't about a hero and all their glory. It was about an everyday person, someone he loved and knew represented what a hero was to him. He couldn't wait to share it with everyone.
As he began his research about his hero, he came across a few photos and a video clip of his hero when they were young.
a dancer too. I'm learning more and more about my hero. Things that I never knew. I wonder what year this was. 1978. Let me take a look at this video.
The next day, Isagani got up and spoke in front of his class, his teacher, and his mom. He was so nervous. He stumbled over his words at first. After a second, he calmed down, took a deep breath, and described a hero from his hometown.
My hero. My Shiro. She is kind, strong, courageous, and smart. Instead of her words, she uses her art. Her art isn't up in galleries or walls. Instead, it's on fences, parks, sidewalks, and walls. I'm proud of my mom because of her art, but most of all because of her heart. She's my number one hero. She is my number one Shiro.
His mom didn't make art to get wealthy. Her goal was to make her community beautiful and peaceful. She shared her talents with everyone because movements are about more than just one person. It's about everyday people making things better for many.
After his presentation, Isagani's mom was so proud and humbled by his kind words and recognition.
How did you know? I painted that mural so very long ago.
That's just my comment. What kind of hero that was hopeful, courageous, and kind. I went to the bookshop and took a look. I saw a picture of you and the mural in the scrapbook. When he took me to the mural, I knew I'd seen it before. He told me the stories and I knew there was more. You made that mural with a brush in your fist to remind the community to always resist against injustice.
Our heroes don't look just one way. We're surrounded by heroes each and every day. From your neighbor, to your teacher, the bus driver, the community organizer, your elders and those younger than you. Our everyday heroes all make their lives better.
I understand it. I get it. We're all the heroes of our community. Let's continue to honor our history. Let's commemorate the heroes that came before us. Let's appreciate the hero in all of us. I understand it. I get it. We're all the heroes of our community. Let's continue to honor our history. Let's commemorate the heroes that came before us. Let's appreciate the hero in all of us. Let's honor the heroes above. It's because of you that the hero has power. It's because of you that the struggles are acknowledged. It's because of you that we can look forward to a future where everyone's stories are recognized and celebrated. Dahil sa iyo.
Lahat